Good evening, welcome to a scene for the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. In this particular scene, Chloe is actually heading. She's looking for someone in particular. She has this fostering challenge ahead of her that is rather intimidating. Um, but before she does it, she wants to be fully informed as much as possible about what they are going to be hunting. And to that end, she has been suggested that Katori knows a lot of things. Um, so she is walking in Hamid currently towards Katori's den. She has a tote bag and is pretty much wearing the clothes you see there um, in the middle, not the side. And she's not wearing any kind of fake fur. Um, and she would normally have chosen Lupus for this, but it's kind of hard to be in Lupus and carrying a tote bag, so you have to be smart here. Either way, she will slowly approach towards this way, hoping that she sees him somewhere around that area. You have to let me know if I see him there or not.
Yes. Also, yours. Oh no, it's okay. I thought I was still echoing. It's cool.
Hmm? Oh, the echo?
So,
Yeah, I always get an echo and then it stops eventually. I don't know why.
magic.
Yeah.
So, now I hear myself.
Give it a minute.
It's sorcery. So, Katori, for his part, I guess at this point, he is standing at the entrance of his den, which is this giant ash tree with claw marks, blood sigil all over, and bones standing on the branches, and little craft work things made out of woods and feathers. And he is pretty much looking at a fire, and you can probably see that he's throwing a book inside the fire as
Blake?
he's watching it burn.
That doesn't seem right at all. We're burning books here. She could probably say that was out of character. I don't think she in character would know that that's a really weird thing. Um, so yeah, she will approach from the front, obviously making noise before reasons. She doesn't want anyone to think she's sneaking up. And yeah, she's trying to get specifically in his vision. Clearly, trying to
Oh yeah, no, you can clearly see that his ears, from the way they're moving, he's aware that you're coming. And actually, this is this is most probably happening in the Umbra, which will make you see that you can see something akin to the spirit that roams around, called the Fury, that is actually, with his little fiery hand, has the book in its hand and is numbing it.
Oh, that's kind of cool. She didn't know that he had one of those. All right. So she's definitely going to kind of look over at that, kind of smile a little because she thinks that's cool. Um, and then go look back towards him and keep walking, but kind of bare her neck since she's not in, you know, lupus. It's a little weird to go rolling on her back at this point unless he seems to really want it. So she'll go with the other option for respect.
He's going to turn around, and he's going to approach her and put his jaw around her neck. But he is slightly going to push you to at least be in a sitting position, not necessarily putting you all the way belly up, but
She won't
clearly
fight you.
as a sign that it's just
Yeah.
follow the movement. Don't ask
Yep.
questions.
Nope. She will totally play along. She realizes she's taller here, so she's not has no problem being put in her place. This is how it works.
And after putting her in that position, he will look at her. You're the Black Fury from Striders, right?
Yes, I am Katori Raya. I haven't seen you since our fight, so I thought
Uh,
I wasn't coming looking for that reason, but I am glad to see you anyway.
you can get up. You don't have to stay in this position.
She will nod, and stand. Um,
So, has Coles told you a little bit about what would be expecting of you?
about the what?
What would
I don't-
be expected of you? Has she told you?
Expected of me for to speak to you?
No, we're going on a hunt. Has she talked to you about this?
I mean, she told me some of her thoughts on the subject.
Mm.
If you have other expectations, I would like to hear them.
Do you know how to create mind link?
I do, and I fully plan to do that so that she can be brought in.
He cocks his head on the side. What do you mean brought in?
So that she can, when I use mind speak, I can connect. Actually, I can connect whole packs together. But in this case, I'm bringing the rest of my pack, so I would just need to bring her in so that we can all
Whoa,
talk.
whoa.
It's not
Okay.
it's not
Like-
a totem thing. I promise.
What is that? Because last time one of my because last time one of my packmates went with your pack, and he's not finishing his sentence.
She will look away. Yeah, she was not meeting his eyes to start with because she wasn't challenging him, but she averts her eyes off to one side, clearly trying to go for sadness on that one.
What is it this time? Why is it that you need my packmate?
It's not that I need her, it's that I want her. My pack is my family, and Calls is my family. I want my family with me. Whether I lose or whether I succeed, I want them with me.
He squints his eyes. To do what?
I must lead a hunt for my fostering challenge on a bane of big enough size that we can take it on. And then I have to tell the story of what happened, complete with strengths and weaknesses of each of us.
Is the reason why you want Calls of Fury is because you don't feel adequate enough and that you need support from a tribe mate to be beside you.
If you say that she can't, I will still do it anyways. I don't need the support, I want the support. I stand not on my own, because no Garu can really do that. We need to be in packs. But I am my own person. And while she is supportive and she helps, because she's my friend, she's my sister. But I want her there. I will respect your choice, though.
She is her own wolf. She can go wherever she please. However, I want you to be aware that if something happens to her, that would be the second packmate that your pack will make me lose. So I want you to know that by doing that choice, not only is there going to be the expectation of your success for your challenge, but will be watching. Know that. And I would not take kindly for a failure of that amplitude. Are we in agreement?
Yes, Raya. I will guard her with everything that's in me. But she is Garu.
She is Garu, but she is not Pac-Man.
She is.
Just as you put it, that you consider her family, so do I.
Then you and I are family in a way.
He gives you a small smirk. Well, we killed together. That is more than I can say for a lot of people on this sept.
We did. I don't know much about that thing, whatever that was. I mean, how often do you see Krynos wearing sunglasses?
He was the den father of this sept.
That's terrifying.
Yes. He betrayed the nation and brought one of his packmates with him, falling into a spiral. He is responsible for the death of a promising cub who died in the thrall and is now condemned to never reach the homeland. But now his crimes are over. And you can see that his head looks at the tree, particularly to some bones, which are spines, hands, and legs, but are now bones. But now it is over.
Does that give you any semblance of peace?
Me, no. But I know that those who he called packmates, who are now all in the homeland, they can rest in peace knowing that the one who betrayed them is no more.
We would have had to kill him anyway. But it's good to know that. Yeah. Thank you.
So, I came here for a reason. Does it have to do with the hunt?
It does. I was hoping that you would be kind enough to tell me more about Baines. I fear my knowledge isn't enough for this, and I want to be as prepared as possible.
You want to know about Baines? And you can see pretty much that when he say you want to know things, you can see that his ears and tails are perked up. Good. Knowing thing is the first step to know how to kill. Going blindly will just kill you.
I don't want anybody to die in this.
Yes, of course you wouldn't want. Those are your packmates. And one of mine.
And one of yours.
So obviously, you wouldn't want that to happen.
Not at all.
So, Well, let's start with the basic. What do you know?
I'm gonna just throw up an out of character at this point. Because I can't remember what it even says in the books. She has Garulor too. So whatever that would give me, I apologize ahead of time. I apologize.
I mean, too bad it would actually Garulor deals more with the history of the Garu nation and who is who. For that, no, it would be spirit lore.
I don't remember. Did I say that one? I don't remember if I did. I
Yes.
do. I have Spirit Lore 1. Yes. A tiny amount, whatever that is. I apologize. I should have looked at the book before I did this scene.
It's okay. It's okay.
So whatever she says sounds pale and ridiculous because she doesn't know anything, hardly. I focused more on fighting than on learning to this point, I fear. And the lack is starting to show, so I need to remedy it as quickly as possible.
As he's thinking, well, first, what you need to know. What you need to know is that a worm is just as the Dryad. A worm is made of 3 separate entities. They are one and the same. They are a wretched parody of whatever he was. You have the Beast of War. The Beast of War, he is a monster of mindless rage, and he will destroy everything in its path. He is the one. Well, at least it is, as the legend said. He is the one who dwell upon your soul during the thrall of the worm. Rage and possess you to destruction. He is a twisted parody of the wild. The eater of soul, he is the one of consumption. He is greed, lust, gluttony. He.
She just said okay. So
He is one that was banished in the past, but to a tremendous price. And finally, the defiler worm, the worm of corruption, decay, and death. Each bane serves one of its aspects. It is made of darkness. It is a twisted reflection of what once was the worm of destruction, the worm of balance. And they hold many different shapes, many different aspects. I guess if you want to know more about Banes, you have to understand who they prey upon, or who they represent.
that's
The more,
oh, that makes sense. Logan Raya actually said that I needed to pick out what. I don't know how I'd possibly be able to just hunt for a specific type of bane. Is that possible?
Oh yes, it is possible. You just need to know where they are and how they think. Spirits have a sole purpose. The elemental of fire, as he looks to a little flame spirit. He is warmth. He is a defender against the cold. He brings light, but he's also destructive and can destroy many things. The water spirits can be found wherever there is water. The earth wherever the earth exists. And the air can be found, well, in the air. Those are elementals. They are pretty simple to find.
That makes sense.
Others are more complicated. Some Banes are attracted to despair. They are attracted to death, depression. You will generally, if I understand correctly, you will find them where generally you will find some of the kinfolk from the Bornars in the dark corner of the street where Hamid stays in the cold and harshness of the night. Those that consume dark substance are prey to pains of addiction. Those who kill other humans, taking pleasure in the act as they revel in it, they fall prey to those Banes who serves. Well, they can serve pretty much any aspect of a triad, but wherever misery or corruption can be found, the separation of Gaia, you can be pretty sure to find Banes. Or, as he thinks, or you can go for rust spiders. Weaver spirits who have been corrupted by the worm.
I always hear Ping talking about those. She hates those.
They are quite efficient, for they still kept the blessing of the Weaver. They can freeze you into stone, and you won't be able to do anything once you're frozen. You are trapped, suffocating inside this, unless one of your packmates go to defend you and free you from their gaze. Every Bane has its strength, its weakness. I have faced a Scrag once. Scrags, when you see them, this is where you have to think differently. For Scrags are shock troop. They hunt Garou. They hunt them even in packs. They have this terrible power that I made the mistake of almost forgetting. I faced one of them, and I said, do not attack us. He did not attack us. He used calls of fury against us.
Oh no.
Because Scrags holds the power to awaken our beast, to awaken the frenzy, and to awaken the thrall. If you go after one, you are either going to have to be extremely calm or destroy it early before it is able to make its own move. Because otherwise, he will use it. Well, I would say the most obvious choice would be to use Eric against all of you. But this is the thing. He calls, and anybody can answer.
Okay.
There are so many different things. I would say that if you want me to enlighten you on some of them, you would need to tell me what kind you want to hunt. I would say in this city, the city, probably the one to find the most easiest are the elementals. Elementals, Banes, Toxin, Smog, Sludge, and Balefire. But I very much discourage you to go after a Balefire elemental.
I can see why that sounds like that would be I mean, I need something that is worthy of us, but not something that's so bad that we won't be able to handle it. It's a fine line.
Any Bane can be too much to handle. I was an Adrian with a Foster and a Cleve by my side, and we almost died because of one single scrag. Never, ever underestimate the power of Banes. Never underestimate their power to cause destruction, for it is their sole purpose. Be it for the Beast of War, the Eater of Soul, or the Defilant Worm. They will find ways, always, and no Bane is beneath notice. No Bane is beneath any Garu. It is our duty to find them and chase them away. I guess as he thinks, I guess you could go after Banes of Cruelty. Banes of Cruelty, or at least how sometimes they are named, Psychomachiae. They feed on carnage and death. They often possess weak-willed humans and send them into killing spree. They tend to be extremely violent with their host and everything, putting them.
That sounds like something you'd find a lot in the city, actually.
Yes. If I remember correctly, when Callie Krykos was among my pack, she told me of shelter for females who were hurt by their mates.
This is me hiding. This is me hiding my reaction to that name.
Yeah. Someone wants me to throw a peony.
Yeah, you can totally pay me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes because I have a specialty that applies when you're being deceitful.
And I have attentive. How fun!
Oh, we're gonna check out the ballots. This would be fun. Let's do it.
Up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No.
Oh, barely.
Barely.
You almost got that one. Yes. Yeah, she's just trying to look attentive. She's trying to look attentive. That's what you get. She looks attentive.
She's concentrated.
Maybe a little extra attentive when you said Callie Krykos, but because it was only one difference. She looks a little extra attentive, but doesn't say anything.
Yeah. So, as he thinks a little bit, so what can I tell you about those?
Do you think that something like that would be appropriate? Because it sounds like something I'd very much like to kill.
For this, you're the one. You're the one who's going to have to be judge of that. You are to hunt a Bane. Banes hurt others.
But we might
You are.
make this a little bit better. We might make something a little bit better out there by getting rid of this one.
True, it is something that can be made better. As he's going to think about it. Well, as he thinks a little bit, they are going to be tough, but you should expect them to be like twisted humans form with barbed razors, hands, and twisted attributes. But also something that may spoke to you as a Black Fury and may resonate with Cult of the Fury. And actually, that might do some good for Aaron to get out of this city.
I agree with that. It would probably do, honestly, him and Ping both some good to see the other side of things.
Yes, go for something that will make them force the change. They are way too much in love with the city. So, then I would advise you to go for an elemental bane. Toxin generally can be found in water, polluting it, corrupting the water spirits that lives there, corrupting the fishes, corrupting everything.
What can you expect from a toxin bane?
I fought one. Good of you to ask.
I'm glad I did ask.
They are they are elementals, so they draw powers from the source that they are on. So if they are in a lake or in a river, this is where they're going to be the most powerful. They will generally not try to get away too far from it, as some of them were water spirit. Water spirit are bound to the place where they are born. But as they are toxic, well, the very touch of them will put you with toxin on your fur, infect your wounds, and generally have a very, very bad aftertaste. So don't
So
swallow.
biting is difficult.
Biting is going to be difficult. I would advise more claws, but if you feel that you are strong enough to withstand the stench and the toxin that you would swallow, then you can go for biting.
Just trying to swallow.
You should be attentive because they possess a certain gift, a certain charm that is called flood. And I think I don't need to explain to you what flood would suggest.
That we would be trying to swim and fight at the same time.
Yes, it's something that we had to do. And also, well, if you don't find a platform very fast, then you're in the water, which is toxic. And if you're not attentive, then a wave can swallow you, and then you are going to drink that water.
Okay.
So,
thank you for the warnings on that one. Your experience is very helpful.
pretty much observe the spirits, their Gaian counterparts. If you go for the elemental, watch how Smoke can act. Smoke is a wind elemental, corrupted one perhaps, but it is in the air, so obviously it will try to attack your lungs, make you, well, suffocate, blind you in its smog, making it more difficult to fight. Balefire is definitely a no-no. They are
I think from what you're describing, it sounds pretty bad. But I'm still curious what they're like, though.
Balefire are the very embodiment of a corrupted fire. Their fire burns and corrupt at the same time. It is something that cannot be stopped unless you possess one of the magical gift of Gaia regarding your protection, or that you are a Gunnar, and that you actually can withstand toxicity.
Oh, well, that's a nice little gift for being a Bonar, isn't it?
Yes, they know how to withstand the worst.
They have cockroach.
He looks at you. You're not very bright, aren't you?
She blinks. She just waits because she's not going to answer that question, really. Do you think she wants to answer this question?
So, who do you think the Glasswalker follows?
I'm sorry. Did I get confused again? Out of character, it's probably me, the player. Honestly, it would have been me, the player.
It's okay. It's okay. It makes it fun because
No, it
you
was
know.
was it rat? I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, it's rat. We are
Okay,
following rat. Cockroach
sorry,
is
my
the
bad.
mascot totem.
Well, we can either play this out or you can just blame me for it and say
I
I'm an
mean,
idiot.
she only has. I mean, she only has
It too.
once totem spirit rating. But I just find it, just for the sake of it, I just find it hilarious.
Oh, it's okay.
Having an
It's probably
alpha
my
glasswalker, I think it's hilarious.
Hmm, you're right.
But
My
yeah,
fault.
he looks at her and says, "Well, no, they are following a rat."
And she just kind of looks around like looks down like she's a little embarrassed.
You still have time to learn.
You're right. There's a lot I need to learn clearly. Okay. For now, I'm going to work on this, and then I will have to definitely study a lot.
As a Galliard, you are one to tell the stories, or one who knows the lore. I would suggest, perhaps, that in your free time you may actually go to other tribes and perhaps ask them for their own story. For
Yes.
sometimes, a better way to understand an individual is to understand the story of their tribe.
And you're right. That is actually a very good way to do that.
He, he takes a very serious look. Like take me for example. I may be a lupus, but if you invite me for Thanksgiving, you better expect me to throat you.
I should expect you to throw at me if I invite you.
For
Is that what you
Thanksgiving.
said?
Yes. That's what he said. If you invite him to Thanksgiving, you better expect to be throated. As he looks at her in a way like I'm judging you right now to see if you understand what I'm implying or why I'm implying it.
I think
The
she does,
test.
but I mean, look, I'm gonna make sure I have her willpower right here because I'm about to roll it to see if she laughs or what here. I think it's kind of hilarious. I get it. She has control of herself, which is good, and because it's kind of funny, and she's just kind of tilts her head. She's like, I think that would be rather awkward, right?
Yes. Generally, the pure tribe don't take kindly to Thanksgiving, and Turkey even less, for obvious reasons.
I understand why not Thanksgiving, but why not the turkey?
How would you feel if your kind, who was once proud and majestic, savage bird of the wild, has been transformed into a bunch of fat, stupid birds who just gets fattened by humans, and then in the end just get killed?
So you would be okay if it was a wild turkey that was caught hunting?
Well, it would be less problematic, but Turkey is a totem of my tribe, and she doesn't take kindly to what humans made of her children.
All right.
So, in the end, it's just as any other spirit. To kill a wolf, you better say that you're sorry to the spirit of the wolf. Then you better pray that nobody of the nation finds out. But it's different, I guess, with other animals. But I think that turkey is probably the most symbolic of what happens when humans get their hand on the wild and try to control it for their own end.
I will concede your point.
It's good. You learn things. Learning is good.
I'm trying to learn things. I'm sorry. Honestly, I come from a sept that's really, really backwoods. I mean, it was a Black Fury sept, and we honestly had no lupus at all. So, I mean, it's very different here, and I've been here a little bit now, and I'm getting better, but I'm still learning. So forgive me.
He cocks his head once again on the side. What Uh, What? Wait, how?
How what?
Black Furies are supposed to be defender of the wild. How how is this possible for your tribe not to have lupuses on
They
your scent?
they do have lupuses, just not a lot of them.
I see he sigh. Well, that's definitely not a story that you want to spread around smiles.
I'm can only try to come back from what I grew up with. I mean, I'm here and I'm trying to learn my best, right?
Learning is good. Learning is something that everyone should strive for, even the Arun. As he makes a pause, well, more specifically the Arun. But it is hard for us, Lupus born, to see that we are an antiquity, that we are a dying kind, and that all our brothers and sisters, they dwell with the human. They understand the human, and understanding how a human works is indeed necessary. But sometimes it feels that even those who are among your own tribe do not understand you.
She nods, and there's kind of a look in her eyes of, yeah, I totally get that. She's not trying to hide this one. She's like, yeah, I got into a discussion like that with Cause the other day. I think we're going to continue to struggle to understand each other on certain things, but I'm not going to stop trying.
And I urge you, for if you were to stop trying to understand her, then there would be no way for you to reach out that gap. Only by understanding, trying to understand what what she goes through and how she sees the world. Only then will you be able to reach an understanding that will make you more than simply tribesmate.
I do genuinely care about her. And I don't by any means intend to put her in any harm. Beyond the normal, obviously. Because there is harm in just about everything we do.
I am sure that you will find your way. As he thinks for a second. Actually, does any one of us know how to sense the worm?
And you're asking out in character?
He's asking his character.
She's like, yeah, I do.
Good. Good. Oh, and also try not to offend the spirit that taught you how to sense worm, because you don't want to start to attack a normal elemental on the preset that it might be corrupted when it's not.
I will do my best to not offend it. Not at all.
Yes, never mind sense worm.
Actually, she out of character, she did botch a sense worm check the other day.
Well, there you go. Now you know how it feels.
She thought Yggdrasil was worm tainted.
On the other hand, having watched, I hope that you make a rite of contrition to say to the spirit that you're sorry. Which you totally should.
I'll blue book it. I forgot. Anyway, back to conversation. Yeah, that's
Mm.
We live a very interesting life here.
Mm.
I need to think on the things you've told me. I think at this point, I'm not sure which way I want to go, but I
Sometimes,
need to figure this out.
sometimes probably going with your intuition is a fine way to go. Listen to your wolf heart. Allow him to guide you to the place where you think you will be the most efficient, where your heart tells you that you should go. If you do not go for mental and you feel that protecting the females of the city is where your heart tells you to go to attack one of the Banes that make their mate pry upon them, or even make them prey upon others,
Mhm.
then follow what it tells you.
Honestly, that's where I'm leading at this point. Not even necessarily just the women, just to protect anybody who some monster might attack. But
He
that's kind of
nods.
where I'm leaning. Besides, there's a different point of view. While it would be really good to, I think, take my Glasswalker trimates out of their comfort zone, there's also a bonus to being in their comfort zone because
Hmm.
they're comfortable in the city. They'll know how to use the city to help us, perhaps.
Hmm.
It's something I'm considering at this point. But I did want to give you something, if that's okay with you.
He nods as he looks at you.
She's going to reach into her tote bag and pull out what looks like a small box, but it's wrapped up in a blanket. This blanket that's now on my screen, if you can see that. It's obviously handmade. It is crocheted, and she hands you the package the package in her hands.
Hmm. And he looks at it. Hmm.
And she's like, the blanket I thought might help keep you and your pack warm during the winter. I know you have fur, but sometimes it gets cold even for that. I made it. It's all cotton. It's all natural. And there's a box in there that hopefully you'll like what you find in there.
Hmm. So okay, I had just a blank out for a second. Basically, you're giving him
A blanket.
a blanket.
A blanket. No, it's a blanket that she made though. It's handmade.
I know.
Made from that. I know it's weird, but think about it. Yes, you have fur, and you guys can all get in a ball there, but it still gets cold. You can think it's Hamid all you want, but it is handmade. There is something to that.
I,
Open the
I,
box. There's more.
I know, but I feel like I need to make an insane ancestor roll because you're giving Trina some blankets.
One, but there's also bacon in there. There's both.
I know, but giving blankets.
Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. I mean, she got the most organic stuff she could make to give you.
Yeah, you can. He's going to spend a point of willpower, but you can clearly see that when he sees the blanket, you can see that his demeanor change immediately as his ears flattened, and you can see that for a very second, the fur on his back gets up, and he starts to show his gum before shaking his head very firmly. He looks at you with a very serious look.
Okay.
I know that you did not mean anything by it, but as he shakes his head, couldn't know. But I would suggest now that you go back to your pack. I take no offense of your offering. But I
Okay.
suggest that you go now. Before my ancestor does something that I may have to explain later to Aaron.
She just looks at him and she will take the order. That's not an issue. She just kind of looks at the blanket for a second, like wondering if she should take it or just take the whole package back with her.
Go!
She'll just leave. It's an order. You follow orders here, and we follow orders here in the Garu Nation, and she was given an order.
And I guess with that, as probably there's some growling and howling coming from the den direction, I think this is a good moment to call it our scene to an end. Thank you, players, for playing, watchers for watching, and we shall see you next time.